On July the 31st of 1999, two girls went missing after driving home from a family birthday party in Headland, Alabama. Today, for the 20th anniversary, which is only a couple of days away from now, we're going to find out what happened to those girls, J.B. Beasley and Tracie Hawlett, two best friends who experienced the ultimate tragedy together many, many years ago. Today, we are in and around Dothan, Alabama to tell the story and retrace a few points of interest from what happened that fateful night. J.B. Beasley and Tracie Hawlett were both 17 years old. They lived and met here in Dothan and eventually became best friends while navigating being teenagers right here at Dothan High School. All of the events that happened to those two girls happened within about a 30-mile radius from Dothan High School in Dothan, Alabama. We're gonna make that same radius to cover a few places from the last night they were seen alive. On the evening of July the 31st of 1999, J.B. Beasley and Tracie Hawlett hopped into JB's black Mazda 929 and left Dothan, Alabama, heading just a few miles north of it to Headland, Alabama, to go to a family birthday party. Around 11:30 p.m. that night, they stopped at what was then a Big Little convenience store. It's now this inland gas station right here behind me. They stopped, but okay, so you have to understand, in 1999, we didn't have cell phones. We just didn't. We didn't have, you know, all these electronic games. We didn't have tablets. We didn't have any of that stuff. They stopped at this gas station just to use a payphone to call and ask for directions to the party. Tracie Hawlett called her mom. She told her that they were lost and that they had ended up here in Ozark, Alabama, and tried to get directions back to Dothan. While they were here at the inland station though, a woman by the name of Marilyn Merritt, she pulled up to the store. JB and Tracie approached her and asked her for directions back to Dothan. She told them which way to go, and she said that they seemed to understand the directions that she gave. She said nothing seemed amiss with them at all. Following Miss Merritt's directions, they pulled out, heading down this road right here.
In a quarter mile, take a slight right turn onto Church Avenue.
That was the last time anyone would see them alive ever again. The next morning, on this desolate back road here in Ozark, at around 8 a.m., Tracie Hawlett's mother called the police. Her daughter never made it to the party. She didn't come home that night. She was worried. At about the same exact time her mother was on the phone with police reporting, the police department found JB's car parked right here. You can see that this road is not much of anything. I mean, it's a tiny one lane road. It dead ends right here in front of us. They found their car parked right here, and you can see that some people have erected a little memorial to them here even. J.B. Beasley, Tracie Hawlett. The bench sitting here also has their names on it. J.B. Beasley, Tracie Hawlett, forever remembered, forever missed. That morning, her Mazda 929 was found sitting here abandoned. When the police stopped to check it out, they said that it was muddy, very dirty, and it was in disarray. JB's driver's license was sitting on the dashboard of her car. To this day, only one item has ever been missing from this entire event, and it was a keychain that was on JB's car keys. It was some small white blocks. It had black letters, and it said, "Hard to get." Still has never been found 20 years later. The police saw a very clear palm print on the trunk lid of her car. It has never been identified. With the car still sitting right here in this spot, the police would open the trunk. Sitting in the trunk, right here on the spot, were the bodies of both J.B. Beasley and Tracie Hawlett. Both of them had been shot to death, and on Tracie's leg, in the trunk of the car, sat a 9mm shell casing. Both girls' pants were wet up to their knees, suggesting that they were forced to kneel somewhere and then were shot executioner style. Of course, as you probably expected, semen was found only on JB's body. On her bra and panties, they found semen. The police investigated, and they are still unsure exactly where the girls were murdered at. But they believe that they were killed in the woods somewhere right here next to where their car was found. Of course, the police scoured this area with cadaver dogs and officers on foot, trying to find an area that could have been their murder location. These trees were cleared out for officers to get down there on foot and with their equipment. No matter which way you look at it, the police are almost certain the girls were murdered right here somewhere. Whether it was in their car right here, or right over here in the woods, or even over here on this side of the woods. The police are absolutely certain this is the spot that their lives ended that night in 1999. I never expected to see a little memorial here because this case is not the most well-known case. I never expected to see a memorial, but it's really nice to see that they have something there for them. And then came the first lead of the case. At the time, living right here in this second house, it's actually abandoned now, but there was a couple living there in that house, and a man named Johnny Barrentine. Johnny Barrentine had left his wife and kids at home. He left to go get some milk from that same inland gas station. When he returned home, his wife said he was visibly distraught and shaken up. And he told her that on his way home, a black pickup truck with Dothan license plates hit his car. Right here on Herring Avenue, the girl's car was found right there where mine's sitting. Right behind where mine's sitting, but close enough. Barrentine would later give 6 different stories, and then he claimed that he made it all up to collect some reward money. He was cleared when his DNA did not place him at the crime scene. The Ozark Police Department, right here in this building, would go on to investigate 3 more suspects, but it was to no avail. Then the case went cold. Well, at least until 2015, when a woman by the name of Rena Crum, she was a sworn-in Ozark auxiliary police officer. It was like she was like a volunteer police officer. She would come forward and publicly accuse the Ozark Police Department of killing J.B. Beasley and Tracie Hawlett and then covering it up. It never led anywhere, and the case would go cold again until March the 17th of 2019. It was just a couple months ago now. A man by the name of Coley McCraney was arrested and charged with 2 counts of capital murder, as well as sexual assault and rape charges. The funny thing is, he was caught because he uploaded his DNA to an online genealogy site, kind of like 23andMe, those type things that you see. He uploaded his DNA to an online genealogy site before he even got the results. The police had his DNA, which was put in their system and come back 100% match to the semen and other DNA samples that were collected from the crime scene over on Herring Avenue. At the time of the murders, Coley McCraney went to school here in Ozark, Alabama, and lived right here on Herring Avenue, the same street where they found the car. Since his arrest, no other details have been released yet anyways, about maybe a motive or the circumstances surrounding the murders. They haven't told us how he encountered the girls that night after they left that gas station. They haven't released any of that ahead of his trial. He has not gone to trial over it yet. This upcoming Thursday will mark exactly 20 years since these two girls were brutally taken from this world. J.B. Hilton Green Beasley and Tracie Jean Hawlett. They were took from us way too young, but they will not be forgotten. It's a sad and tragic story that didn't have to happen. That is going to do it for today in this episode on the brutal killing of two best friends who didn't deserve it, J.B. Beasley and Tracie Hawlett. I want to thank you all for watching. I will definitely see you again tomorrow. I hope you all have a wonderful and safe, very safe day.